Get into this morning's live, I want to go over a quick synopsis of what is transpiring so far this morning. I do appreciate everybody who is tuning in this morning. I see there's a rather large audience this morning. My son is home still today. He'll be out of school for a few days. He's doing a little bit better today, just trying to break the fever and things like that. It's come down, but it takes a few days to get past this. He's probably looking at another 5 to 7 days of recovery. But he's doing a lot better, like a lot better spirits and things like that. But what I want to talk about here this morning is, and the other thing is I might be, a little breathing heavy and a little sweaty. I just finished my first workout in 3 days. So I definitely, when you're not feeling 100%, you feel it a little bit more, but I'm glad that I did it and stayed committed to it. So what we're looking at here is if you go back into this pattern to 2021, and we've spoke on it before, but that dropped down and the rise back up to me looks almost identical, and we'll get into this, almost identical to 2021. And when that happened with the big drop, and that was basically, I believe it was down to like 91 cents. We had the final leg, which didn't even create a new high. But what it did was we had a substantial surge back up, and that ended up being the top of the 2021 bull market. So now I'm looking at going into the history of XRP. I looked at 2021 because of that drop and pull up. When you start to look at the differential, the similarities, it's pretty astounding. So just pay attention real quick. On Monday, April 19th, no, not April. Okay, it was April. There was another. Oh, wait a minute. This is what I was talking about. What am I talking about? November, December, February, 74, and about right here. We went down 51%, and it took a matter of 2 days, roughly. So in 2 days, we went down 51%, followed by a little bit of a, after the breakdown, we consolidated around, and then we finally swung up to the final leg of the 2021 bull market. Now, that was a 51% drop in 2 days, followed by, let's go from the swing low, back up to the swing top. We ended up adding another 401%. Now, if you go back to where we're at now, we lost. I just want to draw a parallel real quick and see if there's any kind of similarity or if this is kind of, it's similar but not. So now we go back to February 1st, down to here. That's it depends where you take it from, but let's just say we know we had a better than 50% from the top, from right here. But if you look at it from just the candle itself, I know it's like this one candle is like 20-something% on its own. Ooh, that's like 36. But anyhow, you see the 2-day drop here in February. Now, are we going to consolidate out here and then have the final leg up again? Like, that's what I'm wondering. Or was that, I don't know. It looks a lot going back in the pattern because we swung all the way around too, which is the crazy part. Now, I almost want to say it's more like this in April, how we could have something like this as well if we don't swing all the way back around. So if we came down from $1.94, had our, and this is what I think is probably what we're looking at. Could be, it's either there or the prior to the last leg. But even if you look at this, a 56% drop in April, and then almost immediately, within a couple days, you had the final pull up, which was a 100% move, but it didn't make a new top. And that that exhausted the bull market. Now, I understand the fibs, but I prefer to chart them out myself because the Fibonacci extension levels are only giving you the technical targets out of the chart patterns. If you guys don't know, that's how you come up with the Fibonacci's. It's basically the retracement levels. All it is the targets off of the prior moves. I am aware of them, but I'd rather just freehand everything. It keeps me more in line. I don't like indicators, personally. I use the 20, 50, 100, 200 moving average so I can see what the technical trader is, and then the volume profile. That's all I use. I could use all this other stuff, but I think it keeps me more in line because then I don't rely on indicators, if I'm being honest. So, But I am looking at this right here in February 1st of 21, because it's the exact same time. Literally, it's the exact same time. February 1st. It's pretty crazy, actually, when you look at it. February 1st, the 3rd, we dumped. And then by at the end of the 3rd into the 4th, we consolidated out. And then by the end, we consolidated up. I mean, when you look at it, the fact we dumped on February 1st, it's almost like you can't make it up with the trading bots. I'm just saying. And like, if you go from the market top, you can actually see a significant correlation if you just look at it from where it actually dropped from the top. Even without looking at that, the fact that it dropped on February 1st, again, it's like February 1st. It's craziness. It's craziness. So February 1st, we do that. We actually take out all of the lows. And this is the problem with leverage trading. Even if you are a 2x trader and pretty much every alt token you got liquidated, including Ethereum. So even if you're on a 2x trade, you're done. And that's the truth about this. Like that 2x trade, a lot of people are secure in, but if you got hammered at 2x, everybody 2x and up are done. So it's pretty interesting. But Trump speaks today, and the rumor is the expectation that he's going to announce some kind of crypto reserve. So if he announces a Bitcoin reserve, obviously the market would start to go parabolic. If he announced some kind of a system, which this would never happen, that he's going against the central banks and is going to announce a gold reserve or the expansion of a gold and silver reserve, well, then things would get turned upside down. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think that the charts are setting up for some kind of big news. Now, this is the part of the chart as well. And the only reason I bring back 2021 is because I understand February 1st, but what if we had a drop here, right? In December, we had about a 41%, about a 40% drop. Then we came up to the top, cycle top, and then we consolidated down. Like, I like to go back into the past history. And the only way that I can make this make sense is if I go back to it, because we never made a new high off of here. We never made a new high after we went up in April, came back down in May. We never made a new high at the end of May. The only way this chart even makes sense, it's so, if you do it like this, February 1st, just like February 1st of 25, we came down some 40-something% on February 1st of 21. We came down about 50% in February of 25. And then we ended up going, nice surge back up, consolidated. So now we have the surge up to 64, back down to 37, consolidates out, and then it has its final leg up of the 21 bull market that we haven't seen until now. So now we go back into it, and we know that this formed an all-time cup after it dropped. Like, it's a massive formation here that ended up taking many, many years to finish. And now XRP is essentially looking like it's trying to, I'm not going to say it's exactly the same, but I will say it's quite interesting that on February 1st, just like in 2021, prior to the final leg up on the bull run, that we had a drop the exact same day. Like the exact same day. Like, you can't make it up. And like in totality, I mean, whew. So I like to think that history isn't always the same. So history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes with itself. So I don't think it 100% repeats identically, but if you understand past history, you can see future movements based on similarities. And this seems all too familiar to what we've seen in 21. It does. This seems all too familiar to that drop that we had in the February 1st. Then we consolidated back up, which right now the top when we came back up was about $2.78. We came down to $2.47, which means we theoretically could melt down a little bit, but the charts right now are showing signs like something big is going to be announced today for crypto. I can't explain it, but if this is really a reversal candle and it's top heavy, it looks like something's about to be announced in favor of crypto. I can't put my finger on it. Unless this is a fake out and this is actually a right shoulder in the making. So when Trump comes on, if that's the case, if let's say it's bad news, I would expect to have a short pump up to 287. And then if that were to get rejected, I'd say, uh-oh, maybe we did put in some kind of topping. But yes, the crypto czar meeting is today. That's what I am referring to. 230 with David Sachs. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That is exactly what I'm talking about. So we're going to see one of two things today. Something big is coming, whether good or bad. In the charts, it's saying a significant move's about to happen. And the fact that we had a massive liquidation event in crypto is a miracle. It's a miracle. I mean, if anybody knows what the tariffs, we debated this yesterday that they were going to freeze the tariffs at some point. We just didn't know when. And right now we have a 30-day, what I would call memorandum or a freeze on the tariffs with Canada and Mexico as they came to an agreement. Tom has to be appointed over Vulcan because of his ability and accuracy. I appreciate that. I actually appreciated talking to you as well. I appreciate talking to my community that wants to reach out. It's awesome. But that's what I'm seeing this morning. Does that resonate with anybody? The fact that we dropped at the exact same time in this bull run as we did in the bull run of 21? The Kupiaks are in the house. That is excellent to read on the bottom. Sorry, I haven't been paying attention to the comments. I told you yesterday that I'm gonna do a better job going forward, and I will pay attention to the comments, but I'm gonna stay with my flow because there are a few haters in the comments, which don't deny it. I still see your comments. It's okay, but I'm doing it different today. I told you every day is a good learning experience. Thanks for all you do. Also, I'm getting into raising jumbo quail for meat and eggs. It seems to be my best option for being in town. Wow. So cute. Julie said they're so cute. Jennifer Kupiak, I'm so glad you're in here along with Joseph. It's awesome to see you both in here. And thank you both for being part of Tom's Army. Along with Jorge, Keith, It's All an Illusion, and everybody else who's following. I really appreciate it. 10,000 troops from Mexico to the border to help with trafficking as well. Yes, yes. We were talking about what that meant at the border. There's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on, like in the underground. So we'll see. Some of the reports are pretty interesting, but honestly, politics is not... I'm not interested in speaking of it. I talk about when it matters. And the only thing politically that matters for us in crypto today, all the other stuff is irrelevant. The only thing that matters for us in crypto today is what Trump's going to talk about. Is he going to announce a Bitcoin strategic reserve, a crypto strategic reserve? Because I think it would be awesome if he announced like a U.S. strategic reserve, which would be like HBAR and XRP and Digibyte and the ones that are U.S.-based company. There's more than just that, but that's just 3 on our list. Suppose you could say XLM and things like that. But it would completely hammer Bitcoin. But let's go back to 2021. Let's go back, because if Trump speaks at 230, theoretically, we should continue to see a nice consolidation in the market, even if it's to the downside a little bit, until he comes back into office. I did put out for my community, if you were paying attention to my posts that I put on YouTube, because they don't usually get circulated pretty, well on YouTube, so I don't usually use that front. But they are putting more of an effort on YouTube so that when you make a post, almost like on Facebook, you're able to do it in a similar fashion. But I talked about yesterday, I only invested deeper in a couple of different cryptos. And they're ones that you probably wouldn't expect. And one of them is getting hammered right now. I mean, it's above where I bought, but it's getting hammered. Actually, for that matter, let's see. I bought more of ZBCN, which I'm just going to be straight up with that one. Once somebody had me look into this last week, and I started looking deeper into exactly what the ZBCN ecosystem is and like what's its purpose. It's when you start reading into what the purpose is, taking real world money and turning it digital, it's got a purpose. Like, this has a purpose going forward. And it's pretty crazy that I didn't know about this, about the ZBEC network and what they're like. It's a decentralized infrastructure network designed to facilitate seamless flows of real world value. It aims to create a future where money and value move more freely, providing faster and easier access to funds and tokens for individuals, business investors, and teams. This is basically, I mean, if you want to be honest, this is basically something that's going to facilitate like our currency of the dollar into the digital. Like, this is this is like next level in the finance market. It's only got I mean, I'm going to say only, but it's got 100 billion tokens that can be put into supply. It's got about 72% in supply right now, I believe it was, unless I misread. Excuse me. As I said, I'm still getting over being a little under the weather, but it's not stopping me. I literally just push forward, and like today being able to lift my weights and stuff, oh, it made me feel so good. Token max supply or current supply, because I know the max supply is 100 billion, so I don't need to see that. I just want to see current supply. But I'm trying to give a little bit of insight because I did my homework. And I also did my homework on the XRP PayNet token. If I could buy it, I absolutely would have. I looked everywhere, and I cannot buy it. In the USA, even the sites that I've been given, I would have to go and use different things, and I don't really want to do that. So I said there was 72 billion in circulation. It's 71,827,424, or 71,827,424,921.102 in circulation. There will be 100 billion total. And the fact that it caught me by surprise when I started actually looking into it. But like just reading the basics to everybody about what the ZBCN network is, think about it. What we're going into right now, it's a decentralized infrastructure network designed to facilitate seamless flows of real-world value. It aims to create a future where money and value move more freely, providing faster and easier access to funds and tokens for individuals, business, investors, and teams. So it was one that really caught me by surprise. So I had a very strong understanding of the chart, and I said if it comes back to that uptrending support, because I was buying it on the drop, and then it pumped out after somebody talked about it. I believe it was last week, end of January, we talked about it when it first came down here, and I said, oh my God, somebody talked about it at the perfect time because it was right on the support structure. So then when it came back down, I bought 2 million tokens now, with the understanding that if something bad happens and this falls out, because of what its identity is, I think I'm going to start to drag onto this one as it goes, because we need tokens that provide real world utility from traditional finance into new world finance. So for businesses, investors, for traders alike, you're going to have to find a way to do that. And it's kind of interesting. So whoever it was in my audience that turned me on to the ZBCN network, like I would have never in a million years with everything I cover would I've even looked at the ZBCN network because it wasn't on my radar. But I'm glad it is now. Mad at getting hammered. Like, look at the market getting hammered right now. Just hammered. And that's not as bad as it looks, because yesterday we had about a 51% reversal. Now, what's getting me excited is these commodities are starting to erupt, folks. Look at First Majestic is up over $6 now. We talked about the massive drop that happened on here when they ended up basically buying another mine. They basically took over another company, and because the books didn't look as good, it had a massive collapse. What the hell is going on here? A massive collapse. And it dropped all the way back down right here. And this is where we ate. We absolutely fucking feasted right here. And I'm telling you, we even sold the top and bought back after it came back down. But it wasn't a significant... I'm just saying, this is a big-ass pattern. Everybody's so focused on crypto. If I was a bet man, I'd say breaking out of what looks like a descending wedge or triangle, back tossing it into an inverse head and shoulder, building a cup. Holy moly. Oh my God. Like, everybody thinks I just make my wealth off of crypto. That couldn't be farther from the truth. I make a lot of money in crypto, but I make a lot of money in commodities as well because nobody talks about them. Like, you wouldn't even know we're in a bull market in gold, silver, and commodities right now because it doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. It's crazy. So anyhow, good morning. 11:07 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, February 4th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. First things first here this morning, I must apologize for yesterday. I got consumed by a little bit of the negative energy. I got riled up a little bit, not feeling too good. But I lost focus, and right when I logged off, I said, Julie, that was a horrible live. And she said, I don't think so. You just had a couple rude people in there. And I said, yes. But the one thing I control in my own house, in my own community, is I control the positivity and the love no matter what. Because then the love deteriorates that hate, and then you find more of that same crowd. So today in the beginning, we had to fight with some hate, but I didn't acknowledge it, so it died out very quickly if you go back in the comments. But that's what happens if I invite that in here, then more people are going to think they can rile the community up. So it's my job to keep us more in line. So I came in with a much better mindset today, and I want to do this with unity within the community because that's what we do. So I apologize for that. I missed a lot of information yesterday. I wanted to talk about my buys with ZBCN. I also wanted to talk about my what am I missing right now? My mind's not gelling. I did something else yesterday that I can't remember. I told you I'm like 75% here. Where's my phone? 75% here, but I am not 100%. What the heck? Oh, you know what? I'll just go to my community. I don't need my phone. I'll see what I bought yesterday because I put it out here for everybody. Let's see. Oh, yeah, VThor. Duh. No wonder I didn't see it. VThor. And it's down. Where's VThor? V-Chain. Oh, because I put it on my phone. I'm like, why isn't V... I bought 222,000 VThor on a massive drop. Like, massive friggin' drop. Which I'm very excited about. Because I had it before. And then, you guys know massive rallies may have happened that I was getting rid of some things that I didn't think I wanted. But after it gave me a second chance, there was a massive drop on VThor. Oh, I can't believe it. I put down the exact area I bought it. I can't remember. Told you, my mind's not working well. 00377. So I bought 222,000 VThor and a million more tokens of ZBCN at 000791. So, and then if you guys remember UB2B, please check out his YouTube station. He does this incredible art, and he literally takes pictures in the real world and he turns it into art. It's freaking phenomenal. I wish more people would follow his channel. I do. I haven't seen him in a while. But that doesn't mean that I can't show support for somebody who showed me support for a very long time. This is his channel. UB2B sub. He's up to 309 subscribers now on YouTube, which I'm glad to see that. So just pay attention to that. He's a good guy. Does a lot of work. Haven't talked to him in a while, but definitely a good person. Good soul. So let's get into XRP. We talked about what can happen. We've talked... Oh, it's awesome. It's phenomenal if you go to his page. It's unbelievable. He used to make stuff for the show, but he kind of started doing his own content and stuff, which I can admire. And he had a child, so he had to focus more on, you know, making the bread instead of more of the giving mindset, which I'm sure all of you can relate to it, kids. You can't really be as giving until you succeed in your own self, you know, into your own world. So just bought 250,000 ZBCN Gun Garage. Can I ask you a question? What was intriguing to you guys about ZBCN? I just want to know. Was it the fact that you can literally take your basically traditional money and turn it in? There's so much stuff. We're going to have to go deep diving into that one day. But let's continue with XRP. Let's continue with XRP. So 262 right now. I mean, that was an unbelievable pullback up. Yeah, you're right about that, pun employment. The partnerships, which we haven't even got into, I just give a backstory of it, but there has been significant partnerships. I don't mind if some of you share it to the audience. I would love to read what some of you say about them. After all, I get a lot of information from my audience. So what I'm seeing right now, ZBCN, okay, so what I did, because I have crypto.com, I put in limit orders because it'll make you try to buy market orders. Julie's found out how I do it on crypto.com now. You've got to put limit orders under. So as the drop was happening, I tried to find that uptrending support. So I just put it in there. And I didn't even get as low as it went because on crypto.com, it was like 1 or 2% higher. So I could have, when I bought it, it was actually lower. But because it's only on certain exchanges, I decided to buy it because I have the verified account there. Because I just let those sit. Anything that I have on my verified account, they don't get sold. Anything I sell, and when I tell the audience I sell things, I do it through BITUNIX or HOTCOIN because it's no KYC. So, here, let me just finish the questions about ZBCN. I knew it was going to be popular. Just because of the price point it's even at right now. It hasn't... Here, let me get off of the crypto.com chart. I need one that that I was using on my phone that goes deeper. Which one was I using? Because I don't have my phone by me, but I should. I know BitGat had them on very early, I believe. It was very early on BitGat. Because I thought it started farther than there. I thought somebody had, maybe it was MEXC. It might have been MEXC. I said BitGat, but it might have been MEXC. Because MEXC tends to have, what is going on here? I guess that's where it just started right there. I thought I seen one that had a little bit more info. But let's just go from here. Oh, there we go. I was going to say. Yeah, this is what... See, I thought it went back a little bit farther. Yeah, I showed XCN big time yesterday. Because nobody was talking about it in the audience, and I showed that drop where it was going to go, and then the big, massive opportunity that was presented. And I even told the audience yesterday, I would buy that dropper the day before when it happens. It's just not on any exchange I trust. So I can't go outside myself to buy something just because, hey, I want something. I had a big issue on Kraken where $4,000 worth got delayed for almost a month to get sent to BITUNIX, and no rhyme or reason, and then one day they just released it. Well, I can't take that chance with my money. So they don't get my business no more. You only get one chance with me, and then it's over. That's just the way I roll. So, especially when it comes to my own money. Especially when the account was verified. So there was no excuse. Because that used to be my withdrawal place. So, I mean, this is, for all intents and purposes, we're in some kind of a massive descending consolidation. Now, you could even look at it this way because you don't need to go out as far. At least I don't think so. I think you could just do it like this and it would be suffice. So, I mean, is that more of a wedge consolidation? But now if it breaks down, I've already told myself, like, you can't go too overboard. Because at first I was going to throw $5,000 when it hit that little bottom. And I said, you can't just go overzealous because if it breaks out of here, we both know, and that's me talking to myself. I know that if it breaks down out of this, and I was measuring this, it's not, well, it is a pretty substantial one because of where it ends up. So in theory, if it were to break down, you're looking at a better than 60. I think it was 60% from where I bought it. And I bought it a little bit, 80%. So if it breaks down, yeah, that would be if the market flips out. But it's oftentimes when you have a token like this, a lot of times it's very hard to read when it's actually going to bottom. So if it does this and breaks down and then it kind of creates something like this, it's hard to determine if that's what it's trying to do or if it's already building ahead and then it comes up and does something like that and rotates out. So either way, if it came down to here, I would probably buy, since I have 2 million, if it dropped that much, I'd probably buy 10 million tokens, if not more. FYI. So I have a plan either way. So if you're buying into that, you better be damn sure that you have a plan going forward into a drop because you really don't know. You really don't know. You really don't know. Well, on all the exchanges, it's right around 00086 where you can buy it. Which, that's why I keep saying, if you're, that's one of them because of the way it's set up. It's going to kick in over time. And that's a bag that, like I said, it sits there now. And then I'll just, every time it has a significant drop, I'll just buy more. Tom, are you going to be on at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? I don't know because my son is still sick and he still has a low-grade fever. Now, yesterday it was at 100.4. Today it was at, I believe, 99.7. The last time it was showing fever. It came down now a little bit because he's on, like the fever reducers. But I don't know. It all depends on how my son's doing. All depends on how he's doing. But that's just information because remember, right now with when Trump comes out, we don't know if this is going to drop the market or like what I'm saying right now, what I see, I'm sitting here saying, oh my God. And yeah, I understand that I have the power of observation because I understand the charts. But what I'm seeing is Oli Toledo, as my grandpa would say, who passed away in 2001. My grandpa who came from Italy on the boat. Well, I can say one. Is Arbitron dead? I don't think Arbitron is dead. I don't think Arbitron is dead. Definitely. Well, we'll get into Arbitron later. But I gotta get these points out while I can, because now I've already talked for 30 minutes. But I want to focus more on XRP. So this, doesn't that look like a, I know it's red still, but I dare say, is that a bullish hammer? Is that a bull hammer right there? Because it showed us a massive weekly reversal, and then it broke down, and I think we have a massive bull hammer. So if we have a massive bull hammer candle, not a camel, a candle, excuse me, but I teach my technicals not by charging my audience if you're new, but by bringing you through what I see and know. So a bull hammer candle. Now you could say a bullish hammer candle, yes, because that's what it is, but I just rephrase it as a bull hammer because that's what it's the cool slang for the kids these days. They call it the bull hammer instead of the bullish hammer. So whatever. So here's how you can distinguish whether or not it's a bearish or bullish. Where did the price open and where did the price close? If the price closes higher than the open on this bull hammer, it's bullish. If the price closes lower, even though it's a bullish hammer candle, even if it closes below the opening, it's still technically a bearish bullish hammer, which I know it's stupid, but that's what we're starting to debate right now. So when we drop down, it's going to be so hard to figure this out because of the way this one cracked down for almost 2 straight days. But if we do our best observation, one, we have a daily reversal, long leg doji, which is signifying, and there's top end pressure. This is signifying a reversal in the daily time frame. Now, this technically started this candle right now, $2.78 roughly. So now, I know it's a hammer candle, a bullish hammer, but technically, if you want to have it bullish, we're going to have to close on the top side of this. So we would have to start pushing near that 271, 272, more preferably towards 278. But then you see what ends up happening. This would smash up. Man, it's going so slow on TradingView. There must be a lot of people on TradingView this morning. Look how slow it's going. But we would technically want this to smash up into this range. Like if you could come up to the 272. Now, technically, if you got to 283, Lord have mercy. If this closes over the midway point, have mercy. Because you'd close on a new high. If it goes over 282, have mercy. If it closes. I'm just telling you right now, we might have to pop the cork if it does that. But just understand this is a bullish hammer candle one way or the other, as long as it stays how it is and doesn't end up coming all the way back down. But there's spots where we have to determine, okay, well, I also have it in the Japanese candlestick. So, you know, you could look at it another way, and I'm sure this would show you some kind of green candle, possibly. But I think this is more efficient. So that's what we're looking at right now. If we can get over $2.82, you can jump for joy. I'm just saying. If this stays as a bull hammer, oh my God. Now, if we can, man, if we could just close out on a high, oh God. God, I love seeing the comments as well. If it ends a bull hammer, game on, baby. You damn right, Sean. Oh, man. Keep whispering, Tom. They won't hear us. Exactly. You guys know I whisper certain things at certain points. That's how you know it's cool. We'll definitely look at the DGB chart, but I also want to look at the gold chart as well because it is at an all-time high again. Can't remember who was encouraging this community to buy gold at 1,600 after we sold out of the 2021 bull market in crypto. You guys remember who that person was, or the guy who told you to buy silver at what, 16, 17 bucks on that drop in 21, and then in the 22, very early 22 is when we made that bulk purchase. I sure do. I love XDC. I hold the 3Xs, and I've been a very big fan of them for a very long time. XDC, we can look there eventually on XDC. But so here's the thing with Digibyte. So it all depends on the news. Now, I haven't redone this chart until I came back with you guys. I was going to do it yesterday. It's on my phone, but I wanted to do this with all of you. So we speculated that that was the chart. But what's actually starting to happen is we're having more like falling channel patterns here developing. And the fact this keeps happening across the board, it's telling me, or like a wedge maybe, it's telling me something big is coming. Like that almost looks like, I don't know if I'd call that a descending triangle or a descending wedge forming. But you could do it a little bit different even. You can do it like this, and I think it makes more sense now that it gave us the evidence of the drop. These things look like they're massively, I'm telling you, man, it feels, I don't know why I said man. I'm telling y'all that it feels like something big is set, like some kind of big announcement is coming. I just don't understand why they would dump the market 51%. Ethereum dropped 40% in like 24 hours. And then it recovered a lot of it. They shaked us out for a reason. Only downside of XDC ripping is the capital gains, but I'll gladly... Yeah, well, the cannabis podcast. And make sure you follow the cannabis podcast as well. That's one that I've really been enjoying. He puts a lot of work into that station. If you like cannabis and like the herbal side of it, and like your medicines and things like that, and the history of cannabis... Not just some drug dealer trying to tell you BS so he can sell you some dope. You know, it's a little bit different when you look at it from the herbal side, just like everything. I encourage you to follow that station. I've had a lot of blessings with that station now because I've learned more than I ever thought possible. One of my goals this winter, as I told all of you, was to learn more about not just the cultivation, because I know how to grow very well. I've been doing it for a long time. It's the turning it more into the herbal side of things for like inflammation, and I know how to make the butters. I know how to make certain oils, but it goes deeper than that. And the tetra, there's just so much stuff that I can't even talk about here. But he gives it, and it's unbelievable. Like, I've learned so much through your station. I just want to thank you since you're in here. I know I've talked about your station a few times, and I've shown it. I know it doesn't bother you. I asked you if I could. But I think you give out information that I've been craving for a long time. You can find good people on YouTube. You just got to search hard. That's the truth. But for DGB, I still see a cup that formed. It built a handle. And I'd like to think that this is a short-term. So we have this short-term cup, short-term handle that should bring us up to the higher cup, which is at like 3.7 cents. But overall, I'm watching a very long cup and handle on DGB that would bring you up to 15.9 cents. And then if it breaks out, it would get you up to 30 cents. That's the long-term prognosis. Does it take a year? Does it take 5? Does it take 10? I don't know. But I'm telling you, DGB has done this in its history. Just watch. I've watched its history. I may not have been in it from the beginning, but you don't have to be in some cycle from the beginning. You just have to study the cycles. Now, fortunately for us, this is our third cycle, but watch what DGB does. Ready? It does it every time. Long consolidation, back down. Huge breakout, long consolidation, back out. Huge consolidation, long breakout. We're just waiting for the next step. It does it every single time. 1, 2. Now we're just waiting for it. So 1, 2, 3, right? When does it happen? It does it every single time. So history doesn't exactly replicate itself, but it rhymes for a reason. So if you can find the rhyme within the patterns, you don't have to find an identical correlation. You just have to find symmetry. Does that look like symmetry for DGB? I'm just asking. If not, be honest with me. Does that look like symmetry? Even from the very beginning, straight up, huge consolidation where probably everybody thought it was dead, way up, back down, back up, back down, back up, and it always clears the lower levels. You know what's important about this? Nick is in the audience. Nick, what's the importance of going all the way up and cleaning up house all the way back down? No, I didn't say anything about algo yet, but I definitely will. But this is DGB taking out all the fair value gaps every single time it breaks out. It's about the only one that I've seen its chart where it actually literally every time up takes out every gap below. It's pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible. So I'm trying to show you like the future outlook. This is exactly what I did with XRP from 35 cents. This is exactly what I did at 35 cents. And I said, hey, it looks crazy now, but what happens when the next round happens? And now we've 10x, well, about 8x now, but at 263. But you guys get the picture. You guys get the picture. Hazil very well could be on the board. You guys are all asking me the ones that I truly, truly like and respect token-wise. So they will be on the board more easily if I own them. That's for sure. And this is the XDC one. Now, XDC's building the handle, so we can't get up to that top consolidation until this finishes. So right now, we put in a short-term, looks like cup. Now we're starting to build a handle if it succeeds. Here, let me get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of all of this. Forget all of this. I'm just going to get rid of all of this now and just draw it in for you. Because, yeah, it came down to the uptrend, but it had to because that was a gap there. So that's why we drew that there. We don't need it if it's already if it's already happened. But I'm like what I keep seeing in all of these, and I'm doing this very basic right now in the top part of this so you guys can start seeing a correlation. What are we seeing? Cup. Is it building out a handle? Like, that's what everything looks like. It's starting to build out these cup and handles. Now, yeah, if they break down and down, well, you know, there's only so far you can go down from here. But it kind of looks like the whole damn cryptosphere is building some massive, huge rally, if I'm being honest. And XDC just looks like a big inverse head and shoulders going all the way back many, many years. To 2021. It's been 4 years now. That's a long time building that cup. But you see how it's rounding? And now it looks like it's starting to build some kind of weird handle. I know my drawing looks like crap doing it like that, but I was trying to... Let me take this into the daily. It's a lot easier to see when you look at things in the daily when you're trying to make a point about some kind of weird cup and handle. You could even look at it from here, from back, but... It looks like it's building the handle. Like, if I'm just being honest, looks like we had an overzealous breakout. And then... So, if you look at it like this, overzealous breakout. Something like this. Could have even been... Yeah, see, that's the make it or break it line for this little handle. It really is. Because if not, it'll come back within here. Look at that. And that's so early still. That's really early. I don't think you would go like this. Unless you want to say it's a broadening wedge. We've seen this before on handles, remember? We've seen the broadening wedge a little bit. I don't know if I'm too comfortable with that. But either way, it looks like we're building out on a handle. So we'll get back to that as it starts to rotate out a little bit. But that's going to have substantial gain to the upside. You're talking plus 20 cents if that plays out. Tom, do you mind doing Jasmine? Look at all this work I'm doing this morning. Do a lot of work for everybody. That's great. I like doing work. I can look at Jasmine. Hey, don't forget to hit that like button if you're watching. Less than half of you have hit the like button, even though I've covered 8 different cryptos. I don't think we've gotten any donations or members of Tom's Army, so remember, at least show support for my time. I don't want your monetary donation. I just need you to hit that like button and share it. That's it. If you want to join Tom's Army or send something, by all means, but all I really need is your like and share so that I can continue to grow this community and I continue to allow people to get the information that I think they desire, that they just might not be able to understand how to get it for themselves out of a chart. I used to be that person. I used to not understand the chart, and I'd go for guidance, but people always wanted to charge me, and I got disheveled, so then I learned. So I think the reason why I got disheveled is because I had a higher purpose to teach everybody the info for free. So if you want to trade this, some people ask me about different things. These are what I use, but BITUNIX is what I suggest if you want to go with no KYC or VPN and be off the books. It's a no KYC exchange. You can do a KYC, but it's definitely a no KYC exchange. So, like when I'm buying and selling or swing trading, I do it on BITUNIX and or HOTCOIN, because HOTCOIN has XDC, VELO, IOTA. BITUNIX has IOTA, but you have to do it in the perpetual futures market. You can still do 1x. And then on crypto.com, anything I'm holding that is not in a wallet, I put on there only because it's verified. And I actually send the cryptos over. Unless it's only on that exchange, then I will put limit orders in. Underneath the price is how you have to do it on there. And then I wait for it to fill. I never do the market orders on crypto.com because you always end up paying 3 to 4% more than you have to. And they take advantage of people on all exchanges that only understand market orders and not limits. So just listen to me. Do it in limits. If it doesn't fill, just wait for the drop. Because there's always going to be the inevitable drop. So just target your buys with limit orders at the price points for the drops. Like when I tell you, you can set an order here, here, or there. With ZBCN, I showed the audience where I would set the buy order, and I did, and then it filled. It took a couple days, but it filled because it went down to the trending support. So that's what I would suggest if you want to stay off the radar. But I always encourage the audience to get this set up before a drop happens or before you want to buy. So you have your capital where you want it. Is in the #1 state. How far is crypto adoption? I mean, I think we're coming up quickly with the adoption of crypto. I mean, it's already being adopted worldwide. Now, there's a lot of FUD coming out of Europe. And I seen a famous influencer that is on YouTube talk about this, and he kind of got it wrong. Very wrong, actually. They're talking about, because LaGuardia said that Europe is not going to support a Bitcoin reserve. They're correlating that into there's going to be like a memorandum or a halt on crypto in the EU. So that seems to be a little far-fetched. I don't think the EU is banning crypto outright, but what I've been warning everybody is eventually Bitcoin, it's going to reverse the other way at some point, but it's not time yet. It's not time yet. Bitcoin dominance is out of control. Did we not cover this? If it gets over 63.21% and were to hold, then all of a sudden you got to start talking about this all the way up, and it was actually building a big-ass cup. Because you've got a short-term one that's already filled. You've got a longer-term one that's way up here. Are you telling me Bitcoin dominance is going to 73? If that's the case, they're absolutely going to announce a Bitcoin reserve at some point. That doesn't mean our cryptos go down. That just means Bitcoin, with the new capital coming in, is going to take 10% off the top from even here. Which means out of all new money, an additional 10% that's already... So let's say there's $100 billion. Right now, Bitcoin would command 63 billion. But on the next 100 billion, if it goes up to 73%, it would command 73 billion out of the 100. Start doing the math. But if they announce a Bitcoin reserve, that could shoot this price up. Like, everybody's saying that it's just going to crash. For your sake, I hope it does. We are in these little rising channels that it kind of connected in to a deeper channel. But if it breaks out of here, there's no way around 73%. There is no way about it. #1 state crypto adoption right now. They are ahead of the rest of the... Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, you're absolutely right about that. I am so sorry. I misread what you said, and I misrepresented it to the audience. I apologize. Yes, as far as the crypto adoption, if you're investing in the Zubek network because of where it's at, yes, it's a little bit farther ahead of the U.S. adoption. That is absolutely correct. But as far as price being mimicked, it doesn't necessarily have a rhyme or reason. Where are we going? What you want, Bugs? Thank you for the $5 donation as well, my friend. Are you getting sick of Dad talking right now? You've given me 48 minutes. Yes, 539 is still on the table. That's the cycle top. But guys, my son's out here. I'm gonna end this one right now. We'll do a little more later. But like I said, I didn't know how long I'd be on. My son's out here and he's wanting my attention. He's not feeling 100%, but at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as long as my son's doing okay and he's not so mad, I will once again cover the Trump stuff, I promise. I'm just looking to see if he's showing a fever right now.
Just 99.
It's down to 99. So his fever's down from 99.8 this morning down to 99 right now since he's gotten his fever reducer. But yesterday it was at 100.4, so he's definitely, it's coming down. But there's one I forgot to cover, so I'm just going to show algo, and then we'll continue this in a little bit. As long as my son's doing good, I'll come back on during the Trump stuff. But this is algo. It came down absolutely perfectly. Nothing to fear right now. It's created this little channel, and this is what most of them have done, like this little consolidation. Almost looks like these cups are trying to form higher. If it starts pushing up, I think we've got the similarity of what
XRP.
and my son always watches my shorts where it goes XRP future millionaire. Yeah, he went to the doctor yesterday just because RSV and strep was going around his school. And influenza A, we got a message today that was going around his school. But we had him tested. I told him, and they don't have to stick it so far because he was all phlegmy through his nose, so they just kind of got a sample. But he was negative for COVID, negative for strep, negative for influenza A and B. So all the stuff going through the school, at least he was negative for. But I just wanted to make sure because my mom's having surgery on Friday. And if he was positive for any of that, there's no way I could have went to the hospital because she's getting her diverticulitis worked on. And it's a scary and a very in-depth surgery she has to have because they have to remove part of her intestine. And it's not going to be pretty. So, and it's a year's worth of abuse and damage and things like that because my grandma was the same way. And just life choices, my friends, can affect you. So I do a lot of things different with my like not taking pills and not doing a lot of things that most people would eat and do. It's because of what I seen happen to my family. So I built a nice thing. So anyhow, this is what I'm watching long term. We're going to have to wait until 2:30 to see exactly what Trump says. This is exactly what XRP was building before. And I said it looks crazy now, but when it finishes, it won't. Same thing I'm looking for algo. So these prices are dirt cheap. I expect it to go 10x from even the range it's at right now in time. Thank you for 4 months in Tom's Army, Jorge. Spent the rest of cash on the dip. Here's a little appreciation more to come. DeRosa, thank you so much for the $4.99 donation. Not necessary, but I greatly, greatly appreciate it. So, did he go poo-poos? Or is he just... Okay. But I'm gonna end this by showing XLM and then I'm gonna leave. So XLM did not build the top consolidation. We've been waiting for it to get up there. It hasn't got there yet. But this is what I aspire XLM to do is go up to 79 cents and then build some kind of consolidation like this. That'll bring us down some 45%. And then we should be able to work up to the higher levels. No, XRP is not cheap compared to like I keep saying with XRP. You have to make an informed decision there. If you weren't buying it at 50 cents, you know, you got to explain to yourself why you're buying it at 263, or if you didn't buy it 35 with us or 34, or maybe you weren't here, but I see a lot of things that have more potential than XRP at this stage. My top potential right now is $6.40 something or $6.79, but more realistically around $5.40 if it plays out. My top end potential for algo, assuming it plays out in full, it still hasn't made that 10x rally. XRP went 10x, algos went 1.5x basically. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm paying attention to, but I gotta go.